about business.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange celebrates 50 years of adding value to the Jamaican economy to personal and corporate investment portfolios. Tonight, the Stock Exchange looks back from 1969 to 2019, where it has been hailed the world's leading stock exchange. I'm Elon Parkinson. This is Business Access TV, serious about business.
Good evening, and welcome to the JSE's 50th anniversary cocktails and award ceremony. A round of applause, please. My name is Terry Carell Reed, and I stand here honored to be your MC for this evening for a number of reasons. Number one, for any company, whether domestic or international, to achieve 50 years is an indication of the stewardship, the vision, the innovation, and the adaptation throughout the years. Do you agree? It is also a reflection of the persons who stand behind the brand or the company. Those persons are the staff, the companies that listed, brokers, and of course, investors. Without all of you, none of this would be possible. Number two, I was swollen with pride when I opened the Bloomberg article and I saw, "Welcome to Jamaica, the home of the world's best performing stock market." And I clutched the pearls that I wasn't wearing and I said, "This is rich, real rich." I saw photos of Mrs. Street Forrest. I saw Mrs. Rita Humphreys Lewin. These were people that I've seen in my local newspapers, and I said, look at Jamaica. Very small, very obscure market. So I stand here honored to be the MC for a company that is a nation builder. Lastly, I'm happy to stand here because years ago I was financially illiterate. Saving, yes, because most of us as Jamaicans, that's what we do, right? We save, but we don't necessarily know about investment. And my best friend came to me and he said, "Terry, with all the saving that you've been doing, I think you should make your money work for you. I think you should invest." And I said, "But no, investment is for rich people, money people," which I'm not. But I'm grateful for my broker, Ryan Strong, who introduced me to the Jamaica Stock Exchange, introduced me to companies listed, and now I stand here with a portfolio that has moved from being very, 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 very conservative to being moderately risky. And on my daughter's 7th birthday, I awarded her, I should say, I gifted her her own portfolio. So you see, thank you very much. So I stand here not just as your MC for this evening, but I stand here as a very proud Jamaican. I stand here as a shareholder, and I stand here as an empowered citizen, changing the way my generation will think when it comes to handling and investing money. So thank you so very much for being here. We have a fantastic evening lined up for you.
It's with a sense of pride, nostalgia, and eager anticipation that I welcome you here this evening. As I contemplated my welcome to you, the single most important element of our journey, that's the 50th journey, that resonates with me is that since 1968, we have come this far through teamwork, perseverance, and a deep understanding of our mission. I believe it is an understanding rooted in the fact that the exchange's success is not singularly for shareholders, the government, or the financial community, but for the entire Jamaica. I did not have to go very far to find a poem, a quotable quote, or the words of some famous author to communicate what has been our reason for being for over these 50 years. As our jingle that one hears when you call the stock exchange says it all. 50 years of practicing transparency, integrity, and efficiency to protect and advance stakeholders' welfare, the Jamaica Stock Exchange. I know many people are familiar with that jingle. JSE for you and me, benefit from listing and investing, Jamaica Stock Exchange. This is a call that we have been making over the years to encourage investors, to encourage companies, to encourage Jamaica to see the stock exchange as the vehicle for wealth creation. It is through these principles and the rallying cry that we have weathered the storm and embraced the victories of being resolute and militant and becoming the Jamaica Stock Exchange triumphant in accomplishments, especially that of being named the best performing exchange globally for 2015 and 2018. Indeed, we are little but tallow. A journey of 50 years is a blessing. We thank God for the lessons learned, the experiences gained, and the wisdom that comes through the process of perseverance and tenacity. From a paper-covered meeting table at the Bank of Jamaica to an efficient computer-based network system that is linked into an electronic trading platform where transactions are automatically matched and settlements are processed in a paperless environment. And to our credit, we did that before the New York Stock Exchange. From being a private, closely held mutual company to becoming a demutualized exchange with publicly held and listed shares. We have consistently made progress, and our highest points were when we demutualized and listed our shares on April 1, 2008, and July 23, 2013, respectively, and when we launched the junior market on April 1, 2009. I paused for that because I think it was a signal moment. These occasions signal a new era. In the case of demutualization, we separated the regulatory arm of the exchange from the commercial functions so as to eliminate any perception of conflict of interest and to ensure a fair, orderly, and transparent market for shares and other securities traded on the market. This has brought a high degree of confidence to the market. In listing our shares on the exchange, we expanded our ownership base and subjected ourselves to the same rules and regulations governing other listed companies. And that was hard because some of the times when you are regulating, you don't know how hard it is until you actually start doing it yourself. Finally, in launching the junior market, we provided greater access to capital, which encouraged and expanded investor base. These experiences have strengthened our core. The progress we have made was not achieved without setbacks and challenges, and the path we have clearly charted over the years for further expansion of the capital market locally, regionally, and globally is oftentimes slow and painful. However, our pledge to you going forward is that we will continue to seek out and deliver market opportunities in a deliberate and constructive manner, exercising good judgment as we seek to expand our markets. In the words of Coffee, I told you we are young. Gratitude is a must. We thank God for the journey, the earnings, and just for the plus. Gratitude is a must. Once again, welcome. I invite you to enjoy the rest of the evening's proceedings.
Thank you so very much for having us. And of course, gratitude is a must.
A journey of 50 years for the Jamaica Stock Exchange. When we come back, the awards.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
So we have now come to the awards presentation segment, and I invite the great Mr. Michael Anthony Cuff to join me on stage, and together we'll present the awards, which will be done in 3 categories. Please make him welcome. So we have 3 categories: the 60s, known as the formative years, the 70s to 90s, the shaping years, and the millennium, the technological era.
This is a period of ska music in Jamaica and the birth of the Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Absolutely. At this time, we pause to invite to the stage Mr. Ian McNaughton, chairman of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, who will present the awards to the recipients in this category. We begin with founding member. The first award is in recognition of his sterling contribution to the development and establishment of the JSE. He was a man of vision for the financial sector and was instrumental in helping to lay a solid foundation for the JSE in 1968, from which the exchange has grown strong, thanks to his early works and blessings over the years, even up to January 2019. He's dubbed by various names in Jamaica and across the world, but to the JSE, he's the architect and bridge builder of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. The JSE is proud to honor his name, his undeniable legacy, and his vision that formed the JSE to becoming the #1 stock exchange in the world, not once, but twice. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great honor and humility that we wholeheartedly present the first and most deserving award to the late, most honorable Edward Seaga, former Prime Minister of Jamaica.
I invite you all to stand and join hands in applause as Mr. Edward Mackey makes his way to collect the award on behalf of Mr. Seaga. We now move to the affiliated companies. Now, the second set of awards will be presented to 5 affiliated companies that were instrumental in contributing to the development of the JSE by providing persons to serve on the board. In no particular order. Terry?
The first award goes to the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica.
The second award goes to the Bank of Jamaica.
And the third award, the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service.
And award number 4 goes to the Private Sector Organization of Jamaica.
We move to the next category, listed companies since inception. The third set of awards will be presented to 6 companies that have been listed on the exchange since inception in ranking order of seniority. The first award goes to Panjam Investments Limited.
The second award goes to, I knew this organization, but it was just called the Bank of Nova Scotia Jamaica Limited. Now, these days, Scotia Bank Group Jamaica Limited.
The third award goes to the Caribbean Cement Company.
Award number 4 goes to Carreras Limited.
And the fifth award goes to Salado Foods Jamaica Limited.
So the sixth award will be given to the Cleaner Company Limited.
And the seventh award goes to the Jamaica Public Service Company Limited. Okay, I don't believe we have a representative for JPSCO. So now we move to longest member dealer. Ladies and gentlemen, the award goes to NCB Capital Markets Limited, formerly known as Edward Gale and Company Limited.
In this segment, awards will be given to those who have built on the foundation of the JSE and assisted in its shaping by making significant contributions to its growth and development. Now, the first award goes to a remarkable woman who is the first and only female chairperson of a stock exchange in the Caribbean. She's also the longest-serving chairperson of the JSE, leading the Jamaica Stock Exchange in this capacity from 1984 to 1986, and again from 1995 to 2000. Ladies and gentlemen, I speak of none other than Mrs. Rita Humphreys Lewin.
So we now move to the longest-serving board members. The second recipient of this award is the longest-serving member of the JSE's board. This gentleman stands as the quiet colossus of the Jamaican stock market. Ladies and gentlemen, the award goes to Mr. Edwin Mackey, CD. The other awardee in this category goes to none other than Mr. Alvaro Casali, CDJP. This gentleman is the longest-serving board member of the Jamaica Central Securities Depository and the JCSD's Trustee Services Limited.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend.
There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
Through the years here at the Jamaica Stock Exchange's 50 years in service, let's go back to more awards.
Next, we have the third category. This is the millennium, the technology age. This category is to recognize those who contributed to the dynamics of catapulting into another age, the age of technology. Boy, I tell you. You know, these awards will be given to those who further continued to build bigger layers on what was already there, and who saw greater vision of possibilities as time evolved into another dimension. So we're going to now honor past chairman of the JSE. The first recipient is someone who was board chairman from 2000 to 2006. I speak of Mr. Roy Johnson, JD.
Let us hear it for the board chairman who served from 2006 to 2011, Mr. Curtis Martin.
We move next to the board chairman from 2014 to 2016, Mr. Alan Lewis.
The next two awards will be presented to the persons who served as general manager of the Jamaica Stock Exchange's subsidiary, the Jamaica Central Securities Depository, JCSD, since its inception in 2008. The first of the two awards will be presented to the general manager who served the JCSD from 2003 to 2004 and moved on to serve the JSE in a similar capacity and subsequently to an even higher capacity. Ladies and gentlemen, I speak of none other than Mrs. Marlene Street Forrest, CDJP.
The second and last award is being presented to the general manager who served from 2005 to 2017 and steered several ventures of the JCSD, including the birth of the JCSD's subsidiary, the JCSD's Trustees Services Limited, and that award goes to Mr. Robin Levy.
This segment of awards is for those dubbed the architects of the junior market. They helped to carve and mold the ins and outs of the junior market, and it would not be possible for the junior market to be established without them. In recognition of your sterling contribution to the development of the JSE's junior market, we recognize this gentleman, the Honorable Audley Shaw. The first company to be listed on the junior market of the Jamaica Stock Exchange is Access Financial Services Limited. Congratulations. We also have to recognize Senator Don Webby, who was instrumental in lobbying the government for the tax incentives. Mr. Stephen Whittingham, a board member of the JSE, will collect the award on behalf of Mr. Webby. We now recognize the steering committee of the junior market, beginning with Mr. Leo Williams. We'll move to another Williams, Mr. Christopher Williams. He is followed by Miss Judith Ramlogan. And last but not least, recognizing the members of the steering committee of the junior market, Mrs. Marlene Street Forrest.
Looking back to outstanding achievements by former general managers and chairpersons of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. Coming up next, the employees.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, no organization can be built without the employees' contribution. And tonight, the Jamaica Stock Exchange takes great pleasure in recognizing its employees that have contributed to building the stock exchange over the years, which has led to the company receiving numerous awards and recognition, locally and globally. And for the stock exchange being named not once, but twice, in 2015 and in 2018, as the best performing stock exchange in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for the staff of the JSE for contribution to the stock exchange 25 years and counting. This award goes to Mrs. Charlotte Eddie Nugent for contribution. This now is for JSE 20 years and over. Number one, Mrs. Doreen Parsons Smith. Next we have Mrs. Suzette White. As we welcome our next recipient, Miss Suzette Price. Let's make welcome Miss Michelle Serdar. Up next, Mrs. Annette Ferran Hedman. JSE has benefited handsomely, tremendously under her guidance and direction. I speak of none other than the inimitable Mrs. Marlene Street Forrest.
So we move on to the recipients and we honor them for their contribution to the exchange 15 years and over. Beginning with Miss Suzette McNaught. The next recipient in this category is Miss Ricalia Robb. Our next recipient is Mr. Byron Winter. He is followed by Mr. Neville Noble. And closing out the category 15 years and over is Miss Tracy Winter. So we move now to the contributors to the stock exchange 10 years and over. We begin with Mrs. Cadil McNaught Hermit. Let us hear it for Mr. Andre Tulloch. And he is followed by Mr. Neville Ellis. Let us hear it for Mrs. Angela Bailey. Mr. Michael Johnson. And rounding out this category 10 years and over is Miss Monia Hibbert.
Terry, I'm going to give your pipes a rest while I just take over here for the next category of JSE 5 years and over. Please put your hands together one more time for the staff of the world-class Jamaica Stock Exchange.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of your award ceremony. On behalf of Sir Michael Anthony Cough and myself, congratulations on 50 years. We wish to see you do 100 and 100 and 100 more, and certainly keep on knocking down those barriers. And I'd love to keep on reading about our stock market doing and being the best. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your company. Thank you for your time.
We're with General Manager of the Jamaica Stock Exchange, Marlene Street Forrest. Indeed, an illustrious career, certainly with the Jamaica Stock Exchange, taking it to higher heights and global recognition. Your thoughts on the JSE at 50?
Well, the JSE at 50, we have come a far way, we're a long way. And you know, what we have done is we are in the digital age. And I'm pleased that we are properly positioned for the next 50. Because it is important that we see growth and continued development. And the JSE is here in Jamaica, but we are positioned for the world. Globally, we are making progress. And soon you will see more about us in terms of the digital age. Digital assets, we will be looking at things like short selling, margin trading, all of those things that are really critical to the growth and development of the company.
Giving fitting recognition to employees, the way to close out the 50th anniversary of the Jamaica Stock Exchange's awards. Indeed, a stellar event attended by the movers and shakers in Jamaica's financial industry. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Elon Parkinson for Business Access TV, serious about business.
My name is Herbert Chung, Executive Chairman, Co-Founder, Honeybun 1982 Limited. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
The Primary Exit Profile, PEP, is a series of assessments that replace GSAT. PEP provides a profile of where the student is academically, their strengths, weaknesses, and readiness for grade 7. Welcome to Jamaica Magazine. I am Theodore Henry. Coming up in today's program, we'll be discussing PEP, which is right around the corner, so you don't want to miss a minute. Stay tuned.
What if they knew that you abused her? Her family?
Mr. Jones.
And your colleagues, how will they look at an abuser? When the law comes knocking, you'll have nowhere to run.
Mr. Brown, you're under arrest. Please get up, hands behind your head and interlock your fingers.
Turn your back on abusers. Report gender-based violence to the police. There's no excuse for abuse. Call the Bureau of Gender Affairs at 876-754-8577.
This week on Get the Facts, we're joined by Assistant Chief Education Officer for the Student Assessment Unit at the Ministry of Education, Mrs. Terry-Ann Thomas-Gale, as she discusses all we need to know about the upcoming Primary Exit Profile, PEP.
Welcome to Get the Facts, a program that provides you with information on government's policies and initiatives. I'm your host, Anthros Campbell. The Primary Exit Profile, or PEP exams, are coming up soon, and as some of our nation's children prepare themselves, we want to provide them with some useful information, as well as for their parents. Joining us is Terry-Ann Thomas-Gale, Deputy Chief Education Officer for Students Assessment Unit at the Ministry of Education. Mrs. Gale, welcome to the program. So good to have you.
Thanks for having me, Ms. Gamble. It's a pleasure being here.
Great. How many students are registered for the PEP exams this year?
Okay, so for this year, we have a total of 39,561 students registered to sit the exam at the grade 6 level.
How does that compare with last year?
Last year, we had run about the same amount sitting the exams.
Okay. So PEP is in its second year.
Yes.
Give us an overview of what has happened since the start of the exam.
Okay, last year we had our first sitting of the Primary Exit Profile for grades 4, 5, and 6, or grade 6 students matriculated to grade 7 at the secondary level. Since then, we have continued with the piloting of our items. We maintain our testing processes. So we had item writing, piloting continues right throughout the year. We would have done our cognitive labs and our field studies on the items to ensure that they are valid and reliable going on to the test forms that will be administered throughout the year 2020.
Yes.
So this year, our grade 6 students will start the process come February 25th. The students will sit the Primary Exit Profile for the ability test.
Okay, all right, before we go to that, tell us, there were some issues last year. How have you worked on improving those for this year?
The issues we had last year, seeing it was the first year being rolled out, we had issues such as the reporting mechanism. Persons were concerned about the use of the scale scores as against the percentage scores. What we did, we had workshops with our principals, especially those at the secondary level. So we went to all regions except for one region which is still yet to be done. We would have walked our high school principals as to how it is that the reports should be interpreted, the intent of the assessment, and how it is that they can continue the development and the implementation of the National Standards Curriculum at grades 7. There was also the issues...
Grade 7?
Grade 7. So we met with the high school principals.
Yes.
Our primary school principals were part of the focus group that we did, we had selected school representatives such as at the primary level. We had the principals, the teachers, and the parents who formed part of our focus groups to look at the report and to give guidance as to what is needed, what are their needs on the students' report. We would have piloted those reports throughout the reporting mechanism last year, and we have received feedbacks and we have implemented the feedbacks that we would have received. For the grade 6 reporting, persons were concerned about the different scores. Now on the report we have scores such as the individual subject scores. We have the composite score. Now, this is a score that is used for placement, and this score is developed based on the weighting that is given. In the implementation of PEP and the rollout, we would have advised the system that the performance task measured valued 20%, and that was over a 3-year period. So at grades 4, when the students sit their performance task, it would value 5%. At grade 5, it would value 7%, and at grade 6, it would value 8%. And the ability test values 30%. And the curriculum-based test would value the remaining 50%. So of the individual subject scores for these subjects, only 50% in the case of the curriculum-based test, that would go towards the final, this placement. And 30% of what they would have gotten on the ability test added to that, and 20% of the performance task. And as well, there was the percentile, the ability test, because of the nature of the assessment, it is not reported using scaled score. It is reported using the percentile rank. And so this disparity was with the different scores.
Children can start earning marks from grade 4?
From grade 4. And that's one of the plus for PEP.
Yes.
Unlike GSAT, where it was a one-shot sitting down doing this exam at grade 6, for PEP, you actually start earning points as early as grade 4.
Okay. So talk to us about the grades that you need to get to your first choice school.
Because of the placement mechanism that is used, there's no set grade for a particular school.
Is that really true?
It is really true. The placement is done based on how the students perform. So after all the scores would have been calculated, you are ranked using this placement score. And based on your rank, that's how you're placed into the high school. So for example, if it were that all the students who scored high based on their composite score selected a particular high school, even if the average going in there would be a scale score of 280, that would be where the highest ranked student go. So the ministry doesn't have like a score for a particular high school. It all depends on the students who sit the exam and the choices they make. So for example, both of us sit the exam.
Yes.
After all our scores are calculated, you're ranked number 1. The computer system will place you first. And if I'm number 2, I'm given my first choice if it is that the schools are not
if I'm
filled.
ranked number 1, I'll get my first choice school, the school
Automatically, because you're the first person being placed.
Yes, and if I do extremely well, so you don't rank the schools?
No, the schools are not ranked. The students are ranked based on their performance and based on the weighting that is allotted to the different companies.
You say you have been talking to the principals and so on, but did you get down to having sessions with teachers?
The preparation for PEP is not much different from the preparation for GSAT, in that the teachers only need to implement the national standards curriculum. We would have gone and trained all grades level on how to assess the national standards curriculum. We would have improved in the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. We would have improved our supervisory module, where we have core curriculum officers as well as the territorial officers out there in the schools giving guidance. Along with that, we have our over 300 math coaches, literacy coordinator, HFLE, all our officers are equipped to guide the system as how it is that the national standards curriculum should be implemented.
Okay. All right, we take a break now. We come back with more discussion on the primary exit profile examination. PEP, stay with us.
Let's get a little breeze on this land. All right. Now let's get some bounce in the rhythm. All right. Let's get some fire on our hearts. Now that is what we call all right. Run, come, get some Jamaica.
Welcome back to Get the Facts. We continue our discussion with Terry and Thomas Gale, Deputy Chief Education Officer for Students Assessment Unit at the Ministry of Education. In our first segment, you were talking a lot about the composite score. Tell us what is that?
I want to point out that this composite score was always used for GSAT. The difference with PEP is that we communicated this time around.
Yes.
For GSAT, that was what was done behind the scenes to rank the students and place them into the schools based on their selections. The students are given 7 choices, 5 from anywhere on the island, and there are 6th and 7th choice from the school in close proximity to their sending school, the primary level institutions. After we would have ranked the students, first there are 42,000 students who would have sat the exam based on the scores that they would have gotten on the different components, the different papers. Their scores based on the weighting that is given, the 20% for the performance task, the 30% for the ability, and the 50% for the curriculum-based test. All that they are added, and the students are, there are some mathematical principles put in place, the standard deviation, and they are given a ranked number. And they're ranked. Based on that number, they are ranked in order. That order now, it is what we use to place them. So the composite score is nothing new. The newness of it is that it is actually known. It was always behind the scene. That's the only way we could use to rank the students and to place them.
Students can get help from the PEP app. Yes, tell us a little about that.
Okay, so we have the PEP app as well as we have a PEP website.
Yes.
On the PEP website, we would have, for this year, we would have published grade 6 publication. Within the grade 6 publication, there are items for the different components. So we have ability sample items. We have the curriculum-based sample items, so all 4 subject areas, and we have the performance task. All these sample items were from last year's paper. It is the plan of the ministry every year to release some of the items that were from the previous year's sitting. So that publication is available on the website. Parents can go on and have the children practice using those. Our teachers would have become more comfortable, let me say comfortable, using the variety of item types. And our teachers, they're the ones who write the items for us. They have really blossomed. The items that are now being written and used within our classroom, they have shown that the teachers are on stream. They are now using the items that we would have posited.
Okay, how do we get to the PEP app?
The PEP, the URL, it would be pep.moey.gov.jm. So once you type that in, the PEP website comes up and you can navigate because it's really user-friendly.
Yes. Let's go to the PEP exams now.
Right.
You were saying the first one is in February. Tell us about it.
So come February 25th, our grade 6 students will sit the ability test. I want to remind our viewers that the ability test looks at reasoning verbally and quantitatively. So that exam is not aligned to the national standards curriculum. The students need at least a grade 4 level exposure to the school system to acquire those items. And on March 19th, that's Thursday, March 19th, we'll have the performance task in language arts, and on the 20th, we will have the performance task in mathematics.
How long are these papers?
The ability test is 1 hour and 15 minutes. The performance, the task, they're 2 hours long, but there's a break in between.
And we can be assured that our students are ready and our teachers are ready.
Based on the feedback from the ground, we would have used the data from last year's administration of the PEP, and that was what was used by our territorial officers and the core curriculum unit. We would have gone into those schools that we saw based on the results where they had issues implementing, issues on the test, and we would have assisted in areas of weaknesses. The good thing about PEP, we're not just getting a score about the students, we're getting an entire profile. So from the results, you're able to see the exact category of weaknesses, whether or not the students have problem with problem solving, whether they're unable to communicate in the language arts and the mathematics across the different subject areas. And so the targeted approach is much better.
Are there measures in place for students with special needs?
We do have, at the Ministry of Education, we have a special education unit, and what we would have done for those students with special needs, we would have also given them special accommodations. Special accommodation is given after psychoeducational assessment is submitted for the students. And we have special accommodations such as writers, prompters, extra time. I want to point out also that even for placement of our students with special needs, these are specially placed. So our special education officers, they would know the students within the schools who are wheelchair bound, who have certain learning challenges, and so these children would be specially placed.
How can persons get in touch with you, the ministry, if they have needs that are not being met?
On the PEP website, there are different phone numbers for the different areas. At the Student Assessment Unit, we can be contacted at 876-922-5680. My cell number is available, rather a WhatsApp message. It's 876-455-3003.
Okay, and as we wrap, talk to our parents and our students as they get ready. They tend to get nervous, right? What would you say to our parents and students at this time?
Before I get there, I remember last year the students reported that it is much easier than everybody led them to believe. And I want to assure our parents that our students are ready. The students are ready for PEP. And I want you to just encourage your child, ensure that the child gets the rest before the exam. We want you to have conversation, because the more the child talks about what is being learned, the better it is for them to represent it on paper. Encourage your children to read the questions carefully, because the answers are there. Do not rush. There is adequate time to complete all the assessment. They don't need to rush to finish and to sit there. I want to also encourage us to be supportive. The teachers within our schools, they're aware of what is required for your students, and they are adequate enough to guide you in getting them ready for PEP.
Thank you so very much. This has been Get the Facts. Our guest was Terrian Thomas Gale, Deputy Chief Education Officer for Students Assessment Unit at the Ministry of Education, Youth and Information. We wish our PEP students well and urge the parents to be calm. Until next time, when Get the Facts brings you another informative discussion, I'm Enthros Campbell. Do take good care.
As you've just heard, the primary exit profile PEP examination is right around the corner. This next feature will highlight a free app, I said free, that parents and students can utilize when preparing for the exam.
What I liked about the app is that it helped students to understand basics in different subject areas.
I found it wonderful because it helped me to, in my language arts, it helped me to pass my exam.
Pep Tutor is a free application that works on all Android devices by default for students preparing for the primary exit profile exam to practice with. They can talk to the device, whatever device it is, if it's a smartphone, tablet, a Google Home device, or a smart TV, once it's Android. And it asks them questions and they can respond by either typing or talking to the phone.
Talk to Pep Tutor. Sure, let's get Pep Tutor.
The idea came out of a discussion that was on Twitter where persons were complaining about the exam, how difficult it is and how difficult it is to find questions to practice. So, being in IT and always trying to use technology to solve problems, I decided to use technology to try to help them. Currently we have science, mathematics and language arts, and we're working on adding social studies and the ability questions. Before now, I got questions from the practice exams that the students were using to prepare for the PEP exam. And now I have a teacher from my primary school, which is Wakefield Primary School. She's assisting me to put the questions together because I'm not a teacher, I don't know how to test students. So she's preparing the questions and I'm just adding them to it. The app works by simply asking the students questions, and it asks multiple choice questions and short answer questions. So if a parent can sit and go through the questions with the student, if the answer that is provided by the student is incorrect, the app will tell the student that the answer is incorrect and tell them which one is correct or which answer is the correct answer. It doesn't show you how to work out the questions. So if it's a maths question and it says 2 + 3 is 5, it won't show you how to add 2 and 3, but it tells you that the answer is 5 and whatever answer you gave is incorrect. Just like any other exam, is to keep the students practicing constantly. You don't want to wait until the last minute, and put them under additional stress and pressure. So from September, or even before, during whatever holidays, to have the students, go through the different subject areas, sit with them on the weekends, and help them to get prepared. The PEP app will definitely assist students right across the board, whether they're rich, poor, or whether they're in the country or in town, getting better results in the PEP exams. I believe the PEP Tutor app will assist in us achieving our Vision 2030 goal by making access to education a lot easier for students, whether in Kingston or whether in urban or rural areas. And I think, by utilizing technology, will make learning more fun for students, and they will eventually do better.
If you've ever wondered what your property taxes are used for, wonder no more. Your property taxes provide revenue for the provision of public and community amenities throughout Jamaica, which are delivered by local government officials. When you pay your property taxes, you aid with the maintenance and expansion of our street lighting to ensure you are not walking in the dark at nights, the collection and disposal of solid waste to prevent the pileup of garbage in communities, the improvement of our community infrastructure, and repairs to fire stations and service vehicles, along with rehabilitation of our roads. Pay your property taxes online, in line, or via mobile tax units, and avoid being sought by the government. For more information, visit the Tax Administration website at www.jamaicatax.gov.jm or call 876-902-9463.
With examinations like PEP, CXC, and CAPE coming up, here are a few tips that will help to improve your study mindset. The first one, think positively when you study and remind yourself of your skills and abilities. Number 2, avoid catastrophic thinking. So instead of thinking, I'll never have enough time to study for this exam, look at it like, I may be a little late to study as much as I like, but since I'm doing it now, I'll get the most out of it. Number 3, avoid absolute thinking. Instead of beating yourself up when you don't do well, change your mindset and start saying, I didn't do so well that time. What can I do to improve? Number 4, avoid comparing yourself with others because usually you just end up feeling bad about yourself. Your skills and abilities are unique to you and you alone. Follow these 4 simple steps when studying and enhance your educational careers as we aim to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business.
A common practice while socializing, celebrating, or just relaxing is the consumption of alcohol. To some, this is second nature.
All too common also are the negative effects that drinking has on the human body. While occasional drinking is not necessarily a problem, it's the excessive intake that can have severe consequences.
The effects of too much alcohol consumption include blurred vision, breathing problems, impaired judgment, concentration problems, slurred speech, and of course, addiction resulting from long-term use. Now, these effects may vary based on a variety of factors such as how much you drink, how often you drink, your age, health status, and family history.
Alcohol use does not have to be reckless. Here are some tips to practice responsible drinking.
Plan ahead. If you plan on drinking at an event, get a designated driver.
Shoulder.
Yeah.
Set your own limit. No much is too much.
Know your family history. If you come from a family with a history of alcohol dependence, you might want to limit your drinking.
Remember, responsible drinking is a very simple thing.
Thanks for watching another edition of Jamaica Magazine. Join us again tomorrow when we'll do this all over again. Send your feedback on today's show to Jamaica Magazine at jis.gov.jm. Also, follow us on our social media pages and download our app on your Apple and Android devices. And you can also visit our website at jis.gov.jm for more information. On behalf of the entire production crew, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this. No more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more. No more crime.
The need to meet the demand for housing has opened the doors for many more private developers. It is hoped that more families will be able to allocate the resources to realize the dream of finally purchasing their first home. At least that's the dream of the developer of Nell's Cottage. Join us for our first open house visit on this episode of Home Sweet Home. Stay with us. We are now here with developer Mr. Baron Stewart, owner of Stewart's Hardware. Thanks for joining us, Mr. Stewart.
My pleasure.
Now you're going to be talking to us about the development of Nell's Cottage, and I have quite a few questions about it. So firstly, how did the concept come about and why did you choose Clarendon?
Well, I'm in the hardware business for many years, maybe over 40 years. And I've always had businesses with buildings. I build for people, and I have seen the needs of the Clarendon community. We need buildings, we need housing, we need affordable housing. And I chose to develop a property, and it will be the start of many development properties that I intend to carry out. I am the main investor, and it's a family affair, so members of my family are all part of this development. The Clarendon area, it is not known for apartments. Right. The population is not as large as the urban areas in Kingston and Montego Bay. And I don't think the apartments do as well as they do here.
And when is the project supposed to be completed?
Well, we anticipate that this project should be finished by next year. Should be finished by as early as next year, third quarter of next year.
And what would you say is left to be done?
We are in the implementation stage. And we have the model house, and we have most of the infrastructural work done. And we hope that we'll be able to complete this in record time, sometime next year. Remember, it takes less than 6 weeks to complete a house.
Now you mentioned it takes about 6 weeks to get one of the units up. How do you manage to do that so quickly?
Well, we have a farm system, and we also have our suppliers, the main hardware store that we have. And we have skilled and hardworking people here who can get these things done within a reasonable time.
What are some of the behind-the-scenes work that goes into a project like this?
Well, as far as this project is concerned, it was conceptualized as far back as in the 90s. Okay. Maybe then you were just a tot. I have been working on this, but it has been a long time for further development. So we have now just decided to bring it to fruition. And I think this is where we are right now.
And everything is going as planned?
And it is going according to plan. We hope to be able to give one of the best development in this parish in this known period.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Does it usually take that long for these projects to get off the ground, and are there any plans for a phase 2 or so?
One can conceptualize for as many as 50 years or more. Sure. The fact is that we have just decided that the time is right to get this project off the ground, and in fact, we are now poised to take on several others. Okay. So we do have several others in the pipeline, hopefully next year and beyond.
Okay, looking forward to it. Earlier this year, there were some talks about NHT leaving housing to the private sector. What are your thoughts on that?
I think we do a better job in the private sector in building houses. Right. And of course, we can always partner with NHT. We have a public-private partnership that is being mooted by the government, and it is something that I think we could capitalize on. We're in fact hoping that we can participate in that in a big way.
Okay. Well, Mr. Stewart, we understand you're a very busy man, so thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with us. I am now joined by Tyrone Graham, the project manager for Nell's Cottage. Welcome, Tyrone.
Thank you.
Now, I want to talk specifically about the development. Tell me, the amenities, how many bedrooms, those sort of things.
All right, what we have at Nels Cottage is a 29-lot subdivision with 26 homes, bungalows, standalone units. We have two bedrooms, because we have 2 lots that are a little bit smaller than the average, and 24 3-bedroom. Okay. All right, the 2 bedrooms are 2 bedroom, 1 bath, a living, kitchen, dining with a wash tub outside, and inside it's built to accommodate a washer-dryer combination or a washer as the homeowners may choose. And for the 3 bedrooms, we have a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, with one of the bedrooms is a master suite with a walk-in closet and its own bathroom and a garage that can also, we have in a design optional for the garage to be converted into a study, so we can customize the finishes for our clients. Even though our parent company is Stewart's Hardware, we are not in the furniture business. However, there are some amount of furnishing that you can get from the hardware to buy. So we're selling it as is empty, but what we'll be doing, we'll be staging the units for open house. We will give prospective homeowners a concept or idea of what they can do with the space as is, and so they can know see where they can go and shop and buy their furniture to put in, or if they are moving in with their existing furniture, or they can set up the units for them to feel as comfortable as possible.
Don't go anywhere, you won't want to miss what's coming up.
Cameo takes you behind the scenes of Jamaica's exploding creative industries to give you an insider's look at how creatives get the job done.
I'm really picky about how we treat our customers.
As creative people, we went a little bit over the top.
Each week, we interview innovators leading the charge in their industry.
The chaos of creativity meets the stricture of structure on Business Access TV's Cameo.
Dodge & Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodge & Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodge & Global. Requirements: first degree in accounting, employed at Dodge & Global, willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodge & Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.
The unit is very nice based on the space and the accessories that you'll get in it. So based on the kitchen area, it's nice and spacious. Based on my family size, I'd prefer to go into a 2-bedroom. And the price of the 2-bedroom is very convenient based on the size as well.
In terms of the room size, they're large. And the bathroom spaces, the bathrooms are very large too, so you can do much with them. $15.9, that's okay, because you don't need to do anything else to this property. It's everything. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, a lot of closet space.
Location, it's good. It's like a reasonable distance from Kingston in terms of it's easy for me because my family is in South Clarendon and Westmoreland is halfway away from here, so it will be easy to travel anywhere in the island from here. But the place is nice because the Clarendon they have high ceilings, so it keeps the place cool, so you can't worry about that anymore. And then the price is very attractive. So I want to come out here more because at 15 million for a 3 bedroom, it's something I can work with.
My perspective of the place would be, it's nice to live, it's comfortable, I feel at home. The bathroom, I can have my own bathroom and so will my mom and dad, and I love their closet so I can put my stuff in there and they will get my closet. I love it, I just love it.
So tell us about some of the other amenities of the community.
Apart from the units themselves, it will be a gated community with a security garbage skip to the front. We have 3 green spaces that the families can use for recreational areas. We didn't put in a pool because, again, in the rural area, pool is not a big selling point for rural communities because people are used to, in the rural communities, to go to the rivers, go to the beach.
Right.
We're in Arsal, and Arsal is about 10 miles away from a beach. You have Salt River Mineral Bath, which is pretty close. You have Milk River Mineral Bath, which is pretty close as well.
Okay.
So
the
people,
pool is not a major selling point.
It's not a major selling point for this area, given the location where we are. But in terms of gated, it's a new concept in the rural area as well to have gated communities. So it is a good selling point for us right now to have a gated community with security, and so that people can feel safe.
Right. Now, are these classified as low budget or middle income homes?
We're looking middle income with NHT new dispensation of $5.5 million for new build construction. Our price in consideration for that, because the 2 bedrooms are going for 13.5 and the 3 bedrooms are going for 15.9 starting. And the land sizes, they're pretty much very big spaces. When we go there, you'll see what we have on offer. We start from about 6,000 square foot up to about 8,000 square foot in size, which is pretty huge for a development. But we're in the rural area, not in the urban.
Right.
So the families in the rural areas are used to having a huge, large yard space so kids can play and put in their own amenities. So we took that into consideration along with the regulatory bodies of the parish, which is the Clarendon Parish Council, in what land size we can really put on offer. Our target group is really returning residents, teachers, police, people of middle. So you want to select your group really, because it's just a small development. You want everybody to be living there as a family, because it's only 26 units.
Now, Mr. Stewart had touched on this, but I want to go more in depth about some of the behind-the-scenes work that goes into making these units.
As the great Martin Luther King would have said, I have a dream. Everything started from a dream and a concept. Mr. Stewart had, as he touched on in his part of the interview, that it's a concept that he had from in the 90s, early 90s. He has went ahead and gotten the subdivision approval, which is critical for us to move forward in a development like this from 1995. However, nothing was done in terms of the construction and the development. It was just there. And then to move it from that stage with that approval, then we'll have to get our engineers, our architects, project managers, or quantity surveyors to prepare all the necessary documentation, the designs, the quantities, and submit for the necessary approvals now for the building, because NWC is critical in getting approval, because we have to provide water Water is one of the critical amenities in any development. Without water, you can't get any approval. So NWC would have to do their background checks and see if they have water in the area to supply a development of such. And so the designs and reports that NWC are required is part of the background checks that would have been done and work have been done. Fire department would have to approve as well. Fire department would have to check and ensure that there is enough water. If there's a fire, we have enough fire hydrants in the development for them to assist them in firefighting. Also, Ministry of Health.
Oh, it's a lot of stuff.
Yes. You see, a lot of people don't know what really goes on behind the scene. It's critical for Ministry of Health to look at the type of sewage system that we have proposed and approve it before we can actually construct. Because without a proper sewage disposal, you can have all kind of different diseases that can break out because the fecal matter not being treated properly. And then a parish council now comes down, and the parish council is divided into road and works and the council, which is the planning department and the building department. So they look at how the entrance to the development affects traffic flow within the area, and then they have to give their approval as well. The parish council now takes into consideration all those different bodies and now grant the approval based on their assessment of the structure of the proposed buildings to be built.
Still more to come on Home Sweet Home. Stay with us.
Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
Hey guys, I'm Candy and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just pull a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned. All right, tell me again the size of the unit, because we're looking at the land space here.
Right. What you're looking at here, the size unit is 1,300 square feet.
Okay. That's the size of the land.
No, the unit.
The unit,
the unit
okay,
itself.
right.
So this lot that we're standing on right now is 6,750 square feet.
Okay.
This is, I think, lot 27. Yeah, 6,750 square feet this lot is. And as you can see here, we have prepared the base now to receive the foundation for another unit to go up. And in preparation for this, we have prepared a marl base and what we pour what you call a raft foundation. And a raft foundation allows the unit to float, like you're on the, like the name surrounding a raft. You go river rafting, right? So, say for an earthquake, the impact on the unit will be less because the raft allows the units to float and go with the movement of the earth.
Okay, that's interesting.
Just behind here is where we have dug to put in our sewage treatment facility, which we're using septic tank and tile fields.
Okay. Now tell me something, is this space enough for me to add to the unit if I would like?
Yes. The restrictive covenants is just that we don't allow you to add to the front.
Right.
But you can do anything to the sides or the back.
Okay.
Right.
So this complex per se goes all the way up this road with units on either side?
Yes. As you can see, when you look all the way down to that last light post, just beyond there is where our boundary line is. It's 5.8 acres with one road through the center with units on either side, 13 units on either side. As I just told you before, we have two bedrooms based on the size of those lots and 24 3 bedrooms. One of the 2 bedrooms will be on lot number 1, that is the first lot you come in on your right hand, and another lot up here on the left hand side. I don't remember which lot is it, but I know that lot 19 and 20 is reserved for recreational area.
Okay, now tell me something. If I am to purchase, do I get to choose which lot I'd like?
Once you're
early.
Once you're early, yes, you can.
Okay, I wanted to check if that
First come, first serve.
And what is the benefit of or purchasing, I should say, before it's built? Are there any benefits?
The benefit, you wait too late, you might not get based on the limited amount of units that we have, and then you're talking about inflation. Inflation might kicks in. Right now, Jamaica inflation rate is about 7% per year. Now, we're priced. If you come in now, you get the price where the inflation rate is. But if you wait until next year, it might be more based on the inflation rate, because the US dollar is sliding each day, so we have to be cognizant of that.
Right. So just reinforce why people should buy into Nell's Cottage.
Well, right across the island, we have a problem with crime. Nell's Cottage is one of the only subdivision which is gated in Clarendon at the moment. And security is key and paramount for everyone. So buying into Nell's Cottage will offer you that level of security, because as you can see, it's a gated community, and it will have a 24-hour guard at the front that patrols at night. And so with security alone will allow people to want to come here. And separate and apart from that, we're pretty close to the highway. We're just off the last exit of the highway. Once you're on the highway, 45 minutes you're in Kingston. If you work in Kingston, commuting to and from here to Kingston is very short. 45 minutes in the mornings, 45 minutes in the evening, because presently I commute from Kingston to here in the mornings, and it's only 45 minutes. And it's, I find it an easy drive, because I'm going against traffic. So Nell's Cottage can offer the accessibility to the necessary commodities around. And Maypen is now a growing town. It's growing, and a lot of development is happening in and around Maypen. So a lot of people want to live and do business in Maypen. So Nell's Cottage offer them that flexibility of living close to work and being comfortable and safe at the same time.
Okay, and tell us about the price point for each of the units.
All right, again, the price point. I think the price is very affordable, given that the 2 bedrooms are going for 13.5 and the 3 bedrooms are going for 15.9. For a 3 bedroom of this size and the land space that you get and the amenities that are there, it's unbeatable.
Agreed.
It's unbeatable.
Well, Tyrone, that's where we wrap things up. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Most definitely, and it was my pleasure talking to you.
Thanks.
And that's it for another week of Home Sweet Home. This week has been fun and, of course, underscoring another topic in the business of real estate. So much more for this season, so tune in next week for another exciting show.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com. The Jamaica Stock Exchange wishes to help to develop the social sector. To that end, they have formed the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange, which is a safe, efficient, and transparent platform that aims to promote social projects that build Jamaica and will inure to the benefit of all persons living in the country.
The Jamaica Stock Exchange is a company that encourages and mobilizes capital for the main market, and that is the market that is not the social sector. Now, the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange is really geared towards the social sector to help to solve social problems in the field of health, education, about children, environment. Those are some of the things that we consider social problems. And so it is to mobilize the capital, allow persons who have a desire to invest in a social good, to invest in the social stock exchange. It is designed in two parts. In phase one, where we look at social investment, and phase two, where we look at social impact investment. Now, in phase one, really what we are saying is it is donation. An organization will have a social issue and design it into a project or a program and invite Jamaicans or persons within the diaspora or the entire world to fund this program. Now, in phase two, you're going to get a return on investment, which is not social. You will be getting shares, natural shares, as you would get if you invested in the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And what you'll get is a return on capital, which is possibly dividend or an appreciation in that share. The Jamaica Social Stock Exchange does more than ask for the funding of these programs, but goes beyond that in terms of monitoring, ensuring that these programs are meeting the targets and the reason for them to have asked for funding in the first place. When we look at this new sector, it is important because holistically, if you do not look on the social sector, you do not improve the other sectors. We want to encourage all businesses in Jamaica to have a corporate social responsibility because it is good for encouraging and the growth and development of businesses.
Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
I'm Jean Laurichin, and I'm the Executive Director of ProCom, ProDev, and CCRP. BATV had heard about our outreach arm, which is a Caribbean community of retired persons. I think BATV is having a very positive impact. And as a result of that excellent feature, we got more members. So clearly people are watching BATV. I always say to my clients, you should have a 360-degree campaign. Do not limit yourself to one media house. And especially those who are in business, I think it's very important to include BATV in their portfolio.
Your business matters. Promote it on Business Access TV.
Michelle Chung, CEO and co-founder of Honey Bun in Jamaica, and you're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious
about business.
Serious about business.
It's the last PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018, and Business Access TV, as usual, is here to bring you the highlights. I'm Javon Keys. Stay tuned. Mr. Mitchell, so tell us about the theme for this morning's breakfast.
The theme for this morning's session is citizen security as a tool for effective crime management. It is intended to raise the awareness of what citizen security is, and shortly, citizen security is the level of confidence that the average citizen feels in his community, and how he feels about his ability to move around in his environment, and what structures the government, the state can place around the community to increase that level of confidence. How the police force and the security forces behave is critical to citizen security. So we're trying to raise the awareness of the population on citizen security and to make people realize that hard policing alone is not enough, that you have to raise the confidence of the citizens in what you are doing.
So how important is it for businesses generally to be concerned about citizen security?
Well, I think it's very important that the level of investor confidence and the level of the business community's confidence is raised, in that their stakeholders can come to work, their employees can come to work, that they can move freely around in the community, and that they will have certainty of operations generally in the society at large.
And for businesses out there considering being a part of the PSOJ, what are the benefits?
I think the benefits of the PSOJ are, among other things, that you get a platform to express your concerns, to express your interests. You get information. We have a monthly economic bulletin. You get President's Fora like this. And you also get to find out what's going on in the society that you operate in. Then we have networking. We have mingles on a quarterly basis, so you do have networking with other members and with important influencers in the society.
So firstly, tell us a bit about what First Rock Capital does.
It's really a real estate investment holding company which has as its core focus real estate investments and private equity.
So how important is a company like that now in this day and age?
Well, truthfully, real estate represents the most finite investment asset, and what it offers is above average returns and stability with respect to capital.
So this morning you're going to be inducted in the PSOJ. How does that feel?
Excellent. You know, the PSOJ's mandate is a very solid one, and you know, the PSOJ has been doing a lot of work with respect to, you know, championing and being an advocate for businesses and just the private sector in general. And what better way to express our support than to be a member?
So we're zoning in a little bit on the discussion this morning. It's about citizen security. How does your company play a role in that, or does that affect your company any at all, do you think?
I mean, security, you know, continues to be a main issue and at the forefront as well of all major businesses and individuals as well. So anything that we can do to enforce or reinforce the importance of it, then, you know, it has our support.
Citizen security, in every sense, has become a vital part of effective crime management. And as we all know, the crime that currently pervades Jamaica negatively impacts human development, it affects our economic development, it touches our social and cultural rights at the local, regional, and international levels. We know this, that when a country fails to protect its people from crime and violence, it leads to a breakdown in the relationship between those in power and those who are being governed. Therefore, we have to ensure that the correct checks and balances are made to foster that relationship by creating the required community action plans, better citizen police arrangements, and having an overall coordinated system of crime control and crime prevention. We've seen the implementation of the states of emergency. We've also seen a number of zones of special operations being declared across several communities in the country in a bid to really put a cap on the criminal acts taking place in those areas. We've seen some positive results, certainly when it concerns St. James and the murder figures trending positively downwards. And we've also seen where acts of violence in general has trended down in these areas. What more can we do? We will explore all of that this morning. But we'll also talk about whether these approaches are indeed effective and how much more can be done in this area. Moving right into the rest of the proceedings, ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Mr. Howard Mitchell, President of the PSOJ, to deliver opening remarks.
The subject that we are going to discuss this morning is a critical but not a well understood one, I think, in this society. I think that it is fitting for the PSOJ to end the year with the same topic that we started the year with, which is the issue of crime. The issue that has plagued us every year for more than the last 30-odd years, that has become endemic, that has been written into the fabric of our culture, that children have grown up with, that women have had to learn to live with, that businesses have had to write in permanently into their balance sheet protective devices for their stakeholders. I think it is so important that we remove the callous protective indifference that we have developed towards crime and face it in its stark terms and understand its motivation, its structures, and how to minimize it. You will never rid a society completely of crime, but you can reduce its impact and the terrible consequences on your people. So that I think we want to raise the level of awareness of citizen security in Jamaica, because if we are going to move from growth to development, then we need to understand that our human resources, our citizens, the people of our nation, are the most critical component of that development. And you can have growth. You can, in fact, have growth that mitigates against development by increasing marginalization of a society and sowing the seeds for its eventual destruction. So we need to be mindful, and we need to start planning for that.
Don't go anywhere. We'll have more from the final PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018 after this break.
Doggin Global Business Process Outsourcing. Doggin Global can help you with your day-to-day administrative and secretarial needs. We provide solutions for streamlining your accounting and bookkeeping procedures, so you can get on with running your business while knowing that all the accounting and statutory needs are being taken care of. Our BPO services include the following: bookkeeping, preparation of budgets, management accounts, and periodic financial analyses, provision of temporary or part-time accounting assistance, design and implementation of accounting systems, preparation of accounting manuals, payroll services, corporate secretarial services, assisting clients with their business entry strategy into the country, setting up new legal entities, maintaining minutes and other legal documents, non-executive directorships, preparing and submitting annual returns. For additional information, contact us at email info@doggin.global, website www.doggin.global.
Thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're tuned into BATV's coverage of the final President's Breakfast Forum for 2018. Let's head to the stage.
I now invite our President, Mr. Howard Mitchell, to make his way to the podium
to present the certificates to our new members. So, our first inductee today has joined us as an individual member. Please join me in welcoming Nadine Burrows-Siaga. Nadine has managed Island Broadcasting Services Limited, better known as KLAS-FM. She has also worked with National Supply Company Limited, Stewart's Auto, Silver Star Motors, T-Tech Limited, and Prime Sports. 876 on the go. One of our new corporate members, to allow commuters to book cabs and make payments online, making transportation more secure for passengers and also for drivers. Bumblebee Digital Agency, specializing in targeted Wi-Fi advertising, digital marketing, social media management, and integrated marketing campaigns. The company has been reinventing how regional partners connect with their audience through its team of professionals and innovative concepts. First Rock Capital Holdings, an easily understood business model. By owning and managing properties that generate income, developing these properties and selling them for financial gain. Green Solutions International is a regional company created to advance energy and environmental sustainability throughout the Caribbean, with the goal of enabling energy-sufficient communities. Green Solutions International, welcome to the PSOJ. Michael University College. Joining us as a corporate member, Michael University College is the oldest teaching institution in the Western Hemisphere and continues to produce graduates who are critical thinkers and prepared to make an impact locally, regionally, and internationally. The Regis franchise is another corporate member being inducted this morning. Consistently providing client solutions, they deliver 100% managed and maintained workspaces as they continue to build their global footprint. Trend Media. They've successfully transitioned from being an online content provider to a full-service digital media house. One of its flagship e-publications, Loop News, is now identified as a credible local news provider. Let me once again congratulate all our inductees collectively.
To our panelists, thank you so much for joining us on a very important topic, one that certainly has dominated the news cycle and the national conversation where it concerns this issue of crime, but more so, citizen security. I want to thank you and we look forward to your inputs this morning. I want to start off with you, Mark Shields. What does it really take to deliver citizen security?
Citizen security, as far as I'm concerned, starts with some very basics that are important to all of us that live, work, come to Jamaica as visitors. I delivered a speech a month ago at the CIN lecture in New York, and I started the point by saying two things. One is, I've been in Jamaica for 15 years, and in 15 years, 20,000 people have been murdered, which seems an awful lot of people to me, and that's 20,000 people murdered, plus thousands and thousands of families, the victims, the untold victims of people who have lost their husbands, wives, sons, daughters, cousins, aunties. So there's all of that group there, 20,000 people murdered. That's a stark statistic. And then we get back to living in Jamaica as it is today. And I have real concerns that before we get on to the technical side of community intervention and rebuilding communities, that we're not doing the basics. It seems acceptable that traders in downtown Kingston can just take over the pedestrian footway. They can hang their garments in front of other shops. It's at a situation where many people who would like to go downtown dare not go downtown because they're in fear. It is also that when I drive to Montego Bay, and as a friend of mine just wrote to me yesterday, he said he's more fearful of driving to Montego Bay than he is of gunmen in Denhamtown and elsewhere. Because as you know, because you guys do it as well, every time you drive to Montego Bay, you take your life in your hands because you see the bad standard of driving. And that is a real threat, and life should not be like that.
Yeah.
The third point I make is something that I've been, let's say, tweeting about over the past couple of months, and it perhaps became even more ironic last week into this week, that, again, the basics. If you look at the so-called licensed taxis in this country, where there are very clear rules and regulations that say that the windows must not be tinted, that there shouldn't be any markings on those taxis, that they should abide by the law like the rest of us, obeying red lights, not cutting up on the outside, all of that stuff that you guys live with every single day of your lives and causes you all stress. And I believe that we have to start by dealing with that. Now, people say, well, how do you do it? I'll take the last one first. There should be a war on licensed taxi drivers and unlicensed taxi drivers. It should be not just the police responsibility, because we always take that short-sighted view, well, the police aren't doing their job properly, but there's a transport authority. There appears to be a very vocal representatives for taxi drivers who came out last week because they were upset about the amended Road Traffic Act, which of course is a good thing and is designed to actually bring us into line. So I feel that we can do a lot. We should be able to live in a normal society, and that means before we get to anything technical, we need to get those basics right. Not rely just on the police, but just take taxis as an example. There is no reason at all why the Transport Authority, the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the local authorities, those who represent the taxi drivers cannot get together and clear it up overnight, make it safe for us. We're lucky. Most of the people in this room, I bet, drive their own cars to and from work. We don't have to put up with some of the terrible situations that other people crammed into taxis and buses have to. So I think we also have a duty to them to try to improve things.
We are up on another break, but please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Taking the pain out of the audit preparation. Doggin Global now offers audit management services, AMS. With AMS, Doggin Global team manages your external audit process by providing the following. 1. Prepare and review schedules for your external auditors. 2. Prepare responses to your external audit team queries. 3. Assign our team members to locate supporting documents during field work. 4. Draft financial statements in accordance with IFRS to supply to your external auditors. 5. Provide guidance to your internal accounting staff regarding classification and recording of transactions. 6. Review your general ledger for accuracy. 7. Prepare necessary journal entries. 8. Prepare fixed asset register. 9. Prepare accounting and operational manual for effective internal control. 10. Liaise with the company external auditors. We work with your team to achieve timely and effective external audits, resulting in timely completion of your audited financial statement, while your current staff focuses on their daily activities. Contact us, info@doggin.global, website doggin.global.
Thanks for staying with us. Here are more highlights.
From where you sit, Mark Shields speaks much towards institutional strengthening. But I want to put to you the citizen having a responsibility as well, and how the citizen carries out that duty within the democracy. Do you see Jamaicans stepping up to call for the kind of order that Mark Shields is advocating for, or are we merely bystanders?
Let me say, if I use the PSOJ and its president as an example, we would say that we're not standing up. In February of this year, the president called rightly for an oversight committee to deal with crime and violence. Now it is November, and we have not seen it. How many citizens, how many civil groups have supported that call is really inadequate.
We heard an announcement from the Prime Minister yesterday in New York saying that he's going to be setting up a commission on crime early in 2019.
Yeah, I heard it before that it was going to set up a summit.
Yes, we heard about the summit too.
Yeah, so it's not new. What I said on Sunday at a congregation in St. Thomas, and Mark Shields was mentioning 20,000 killed since he has been here. And I've been here a little longer than him. I said that if any year 500 persons were killed who are the brightest and best, influential leaders, we would find the resources and the time to make significant changes. In other words, because it's not affecting us so much, I live in a gated community. Some people have protective services, but anytime it starts to affect us greatly, we will do more.
This is where I'd love to bring you in, Richard Divins, because the question is, how much of a rights-based approach do we take in dealing with citizen security?
Well, this is something that the government has been starting doing in the last years, at least for a program that we have been supporting, which is the Poverty Reduction Program. And in a certain way, the fact that we are supporting the social inclusion of areas of here in Kingston and other areas in Jamaica, the fact that we are trying to promote a better economy in those areas, we are trying to promote the safety, the social cohesion. This is something which is very much related in improving the security in those areas. And in this respect, it is very important. It's very important when the government, or together with international donors, we are supporting the design of a citizen security program in the social aspect of the citizen security, the participation of the communities in the decision-making of the activities, of the project, of the initiatives is crucial. Without the participation of the civil society, without the participation of the community, it's impossible to take ownership. We need the commitment of the people.
The question is, what are they committing to, especially when they already think that it's a sort of a one man against the world situation, the rest of the society is against them. They are there ensconced in their own, enclaves, so to speak, thinking that they abide and apply their own rules. Here comes now social intervention, trying to change all of that. But how much will social intervention be influential to the process? What else is needed?
Social intervention will contribute a great deal. It has been contributing and it will continue to contribute. But by itself, of course, social intervention will not do everything. You speak of citizen security as effective crime management. Citizen Security and Justice Program is out of the Ministry of National Security, but it has a component that deals with the Ministry of Justice. When we look at social development, we have to speak of citizen security, yes, but we have to speak of justice. We have to speak of rights. As you know, Peter Tosh has said, he wants equal rights and justice. Don't give me no peace, I want equal rights and justice. And unless citizens see themselves as owning or owning a process of development, of inclusion, they will not feel as if, yes, it is for their benefit. Our experience has shown, and I'm sure JCIF and other agencies have shown, that residents of vulnerable communities wholeheartedly support and embrace social interventions when they are a part of the process. We deal with crime prevention. As you know, crime and violence is multifaceted. It has many different actors, many different players, many different sectors. we do not treat with crime control, or crime suppression, which we see as the work of the security forces. We think that crime prevention is critical to the development of Jamaica, to treating with crime and violence. And crime prevention starts before a child is born.
Yes.
And it goes way on into adulthood. We have not yet, and the chairman spoke about it, recognized fully the importance or the knowledge. We do not know how important crime prevention is, in that we have to treat with it in a sustained, multifaceted manner. In a nutshell, no ministry should get a budget passed each fiscal year without showing the country where in that budget is the allocation for activities to treat with crime prevention. Because it is so multifaceted, it touches on every sector. Every sector has a role to play. And let me repeat, no budget should be approved unless we can see where that sector, what that sector is doing. We welcome the idea of an oversight or a commission, because what we have observed is that the lack of collaboration among the sectors is one of the handicaps. It is something which causes waste, inefficiency, lack of adequate outcomes. And until the government can have a robust, very robust mechanism, institutional arrangement to ensure that there's collaboration between education, health, national security, all of these sectors working in their own way, but at the same time, designing together, implementing together, evaluating together. Until we get that, we will be groping in the dark to a large extent.
And that's it for coverage of the final PSOJ President's Breakfast Forum for 2018. I'm Javon Keys for Business Access TV, serious about business.
Hey guys, I'm Candy and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just hold a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned.
Dodge & Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodge & Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodge & Global. Requirements: first degree in accounting, employed at Dodge & Global, willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodge & Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.
My name is Herbert Chung, Executive Chairman, Co-Founder, Honeybun 1982 Limited. You're watching Business Access TV, serious about business.
On this episode of Wealth Magazine, we feature Chris Daring, CEO of Ready TV. Fascinated by sports, Daring has made this an integral part of his life, a passion which led to his first experience in the corporate world as an intern at Citibank. Over time, Daring proved to be a successful serial entrepreneur, with his newest undertaking being Ready TV, a venture that promises to revolutionize the telecommunications landscape.
I'm Chris Daring, President and CEO of Ready Communications. Born in Kingston, grew up in Mona, so I was a Mona boy. Grew up as a young footballer, cricketer, in playing football and cricket in Mona. In fact, every day, my entire childhood, I think of every day of playing football in Buttercup Park, which was right behind the house. I grew up in a very close-knit family, very disciplinarian family. My father was an engineer, very bright man, but a very strict disciplinarian when it came to things like academics. My mother was also quite strict and very keen on academics as well. So you certainly did your homework every evening and more with her. And she had I just always remember that she had just such an extensive vocabulary, you know, that you learned quite quickly. I have two brothers, one older, one younger, and an older sister, who was particularly influential in my life because of how bright she was. Because you were always being compared to her. You know, your grades were never ever good enough because she never ever got a B. It was always straight A's, that type of thing. And so you sort of were always intimidated. You never grew up under any illusion of male superiority. She was faster than me as well, so she could run pretty quickly, and she was brighter than me. So you always had this healthy level of respect. So it was a normal household, but you know, we would have dinners together and family vacations together. And it wasn't, you know, it was a middle class upbringing. We didn't have money for extravagances, but and I know there were very tough times for them. There was a period when my father was out of a job, but you would never know as a child. There was always meals on the table. There was always goodies and presents and Christmas parties and birthday parties. And looking back, I realized, wow, these two wonderful parents shielded me from everything, because I know that there must have been tough times. So that was a great upbringing, and I think it really helped to form, you know, who I am today. My life is a series of events that changed the trajectory of my life. And so, you know, looking back, the first major event took place in prep school at St. Teresa's Prep, where I was in kindergarten A. I just finished kindergarten A and was moving into kindergarten B. And I was sitting in the classroom in kindergarten B. And I remember the day the nun came for me and took me over to the big school and put me in second grade. I didn't know what grade I was being put in, but I just remember being taken out of kindergarten with all my friends and taken over to the big school, because they were like two separate parts of the St. Teresa's Prep. And they put me in second grade. And halfway through the term, the nuns called my parents in for a meeting, because even though I was keeping up with the schoolwork, I was falling asleep, I was getting tired during the days. And they were worried that I was malnourished because I was a little small for a 7-year-old. That's when my mother said, but he's only 4. They had made a clerical error and had put me in second grade. I was 4 years old when they did that. But I guess because of the upbringing of my parents, I was keeping up with the schoolwork. But physically, I was getting tired. So I even now I laugh and I think about I was the only person because they made special arrangements. Because by that point they could not put me back into kindergarten. I'm a second grader. But they made special arrangements every day where they would take me out for nap time. And I was the only person that had that privilege in second grade. So, but what happened is why it changed the trajectory was it put me way ahead of my peers. But also when I finished prep school, I was too young to be able to sit the common entrance because you had to be 11. And so even though I finished top of the class in prep school in 6th grade, I could not sit the common entrance. So you literally had to find something for me to do. And in those days, there was a private high school by the name of Campion that was not part of the normal public secondary school system. They were a private high school. Campion then changed my trajectory because being a private school, it was a school where the wealthy of Jamaica sent their children. And I saw a different side of Jamaica that I had never dreamt of. I saw wealth that I had never dreamt of. I saw cars that I had never dreamt of. People were, being dropped to school in cars. I was one of the few people at Campion taking the bus to school and back. So, it introduced me to a whole new world of Jamaica and lifelong, again, friends and contacts that happened to be the top of the business world. And in fact, when I walked into first form, I didn't see anybody that kind of looked like me. There were very few people that looked like me. You're talking about just a different look because it was a different social strata. And I went and sat down beside one person that kind of looked like me, and it turned out to be Peter Bunting. And so we've remained lifelong friends ever since. So high school for me was a blur of sports. That's what I remember. I just played every sport you could think of because I love sports, and sports has always been a driving passion. I was absolutely sure I was going to play professional football or cricket for the West Indies. And I started off on the cricket side ended up playing on the 19 team with guys like Courtney Walsh and Patrick Patterson. We had a very strong team, and we went down to a tournament in the Eastern Caribbean, in Trinidad, I think it was, where we came upon a side called Little Leeward Islands. And I was batting number 3 for Jamaica, so I was a big bat and felt pretty good about myself and my technique and so on, and my talent level. And then there was a number 3 for Leeward Islands that when he came to the wicket and started smashing Courtney Walsh and Patrick Patterson around the park, and I'm looking at this guy and I'm saying, I can't bat like that. You feel pretty good about yourself, but you look at this guy and you go, wow, you see the gap between yourself and this awesome talent. That guy turned out to be Richard Richardson, that was playing for the Leeward Islands, who ended up captaining the West Indies team at one point. And then I started to get a lot of pressure from my parents, especially my father, because this sports thing, this sports hobby in his mind was just not the avenue for somebody like me. And so he started to pressure me, and at one point I'd been getting all these offers of football scholarships that I kept turning down because I wanted to stay out here and play professional football, eventually go to England maybe, or play for the West Indies in cricket. So eventually he gave me an ultimatum. You either take up a football scholarship or he's sending me to military school. So I ended up taking a football scholarship to West Virginia Wesleyan. Came back from West Virginia to Jamaica thinking, well, I now have it made. I have a degree in marketing and economics. I'm gonna go get a job and start my corporate career. But I was in for a rude awakening because Jamaica, like everywhere else in the world, it's who you know and contacts and family connection. So I ended up writing over 100 letters and sending out applications to over 100 companies in Jamaica. I did not get a single interview.
Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
I'm 36. I'm a husband, a manager, and still very good looking. In 2 hours, I have the most important meeting of my life. But first, it's time to play. The new Suzuki Vitara.
So I ended up writing over 100 letters and sending out applications to over 100 companies in Jamaica. I did not get a single interview. So it was a very depressing summer where you're just reading all these rejection letters. Not even an interview, like nobody was even interested in seeing me. And then sports again came to my rescue. And another event took place that changed my trajectory. I was playing for Real Mona, which has been my lifelong team that I've always played for. And the coach at the time was a guy called Peter Moses, who was also at Citibank. Peter, I think, noticed I was able to come to practice early every day because I wasn't working. And so Peter, he did something that I'll thank him forever. He created a little post inside of Citibank, even against his own HR manager's objections, called an intern, so that I could come in, I get a little stipend, and understudy one of the main managers on managing corporate accounts. And as it turned out, I was understudying this young lady, and she met in a car accident. Very serious car accident. So somebody had to take over and manage the portfolio. I wasn't a full-time employee, but I'd been handling them. I'd been understudying her. So Peter kind of maneuvered me into being able to take over the portfolio. I started to do quite well with the portfolio. So they made me an offer full-time, and I went to Citibank, and of course that opened me to a whole new world of finance and international finance and investment banking, and they trained me on the job. I reunited with a schoolboy friend, Peter Bunting, at Citibank, and again we made the linkage again, and that is the genesis of how Daring, Bunting and Golding was formed. Peter went off and became the CEO of a small merchant bank, new merchant bank called Manufacturers Merchant. Around the same time, a group approached me to set up another merchant bank called Corporate Merchant. So I became the CEO of Corporate Merchant. There was a young attorney who was in fact not even a full-time attorney yet. He was still studying law at Oxford. But he was also a campionite who we were all friends with. I used to play cricket with him, called Mark Golding. And Mark was just so bright that both Peter and I used to use him to structure any complex transactions whilst he was a student in law school. He was so bright. So one day we were still friends even though we were competing in the market. We were having lunch and we sort of were talking to each other about the deals we had been doing, and we kind of said, we should have probably have done it for ourselves rather than for these other entities, corporate and manufacturers and so on. And it stuck with me that it was a Friday and I was going to Negril that weekend with some friends, and I guess in a drunken stupor in Negril partying, it just occurred to me, it kept occurring to me that line, we should have done it for ourselves. And I came back from Negril, I called Peter on the Monday morning and told him, I've just resigned from corporate. Are you in or are you out? And of course he was like, what are you talking about? I said, we just spoke on Friday that, listen, let's do it for ourselves. And he said, but that was just an idea. I said, Peter, I've already resigned. Because that's what I did. I went in and resigned and said, listen, I'm going to start an investment bank. And so we started Daring, Bunting and Golding, which started in the living room of the townhouse I was renting, and to demonstrate to the public what investment banking was, we said, let us take ourselves public. And so we launched Daring, Bunting and Golding. We raised capital from the market. And a really interesting thing happened the evening we successfully closed that share issue. And you have to understand, that had never been done really before on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. The Jamaica Stock Exchange was seen as this, really the kingdom of major corporations. So for three little youngsters to decide that they're going to launch their own investment bank and raise capital and list on the stock exchange, it was quite controversial and very high profile at the time because of its controversy. I recall, columnists writing about this travesty which was about to take place, and this, it was just seen as crazy. But something really interesting happened the evening that we had successfully closed that issue. We were driving in Marks, I think must have been a 1970 Fiat. I mean, it was really a beat-up old car. And we were driving from Duncox and North, where we had the closing of the issue, to Pepper's to meet all our friends who were gathered there to celebrate. This thing had never been done before, and we were going to be listed on the Jamaica Stock Exchange. And on Knutsford Boulevard, Mark's car broke down. And so the three of us, there in Bunting and Golding, ended up pushing Mark Golding's car all the way up Knutsford Boulevard to Mikey Holding's gas station at the top of the road. And it has always been a reminder for us, because here it was, we were related, we had raised all this money, and we were pushing a car up Knutsford Boulevard. And it really, kept us grounded, I think, for the rest of the time. During the time at the DBNG, then the West Indies Cricket Board came calling. And of course, being just a sports fanatic, and I always have been, I always will be a sports fanatic. When the West Indies Cricket Board comes to you and says to you, listen, we want you to give us some time, we want to help, we want you to set up the commercial operations of the West Indies Cricket Board and also pull together the region's bid to host the Cricket World Cup. It was an offer that was just, too good to refuse. And in fact, I thought they were asking me to do it for free. I didn't realize they were actually talking to me as a paid consultant. Frankly, I had lunch with Pat Russell, who I was meeting for the first time, and Teddy Griffith from the West Indies Board. And they outlined it to me, and I went home all excited, thinking, okay, well, I'm going to be like Pat, who is a volunteer, and Teddy as a volunteer to do this thing. And then they started sending over contracts with money and how much they were going to pay me to do it. And I was like, wow, that was just the icing on the cake, because I was already made up my mind I was going to go and do it. Now they were going to pay me to do it, to be a paid professional. And that again changed my trajectory, because it introduced me to a world, the commercial world of the business of sport, that I had no idea really existed. You kind of have a fleeting idea, but you did not understand how complex, how intricate, how exciting it is, So I ended up going to the West Indies Cricket Board. I set up the commercial operations of the board, hired different people, set up all of our broadcast rights contracts. I negotiated for years the broadcast rights agreements in the UK, in India, in Pakistan, in South Africa, Australia, the US. So that introduced me to a whole new world, because then you had to start doing negotiations and regular meetings with people like ESPN and Sky Sports and so on. So I got introduced to a fascinating world. And it was one day I was sitting in the skybox at a Chelsea match. Now, I'm not a Chelsea fan, I'm an Arsenal fan, let me make it clear. But it just happened to be a game Sky had invited me to. So I'm sitting there, it was 1999. And I'm sitting there watching this football match, and I didn't realize who I was sitting beside, but we were talking football. And he realized from how passionate I was and how knowledgeable I was about the game and the players and who had been the latest transfers and and so on. He said to me, so the Barclays Premiership is very popular in the Caribbean. I said, yes, it is, but we don't get to see it live. He says, oh yes, that's right. We sell it as a part of the North American package of rights. So we don't, it's, the Caribbean is far too small for us to deal with. So I said to him, would you carve off the Caribbean? And I'm thinking I'd come down back to the Caribbean and try to sell it to the local stations to put it on so I could get to see my beloved Arsenal play. And he said, no, he happened to be the commercial director of the Barclays Premiership. And he said, no, it's too small, not interested. It would be too much hassle, for them at the Barclays Premiership to try and sell those rights directly into the Caribbean. So I didn't press it. We watched football, we chatted football and had a great time. And then at halftime, we were having dinner. And he says to me, tell me something, do you know Courtney Walsh? And my ears pricked up. I said, yes, Courtney is one of my best friends. And he was still playing cricket at the time. He was playing for the West Indies. And he was playing for Gloucester. So he was in England at the time. And he said, well, I'll tell you what. My son is a fanatic about Courtney Walsh. He's a young fast bowler. His 15th birthday is coming up. He's modeled himself off of Courtney Walsh and everything, just idolizes Courtney Walsh. If you can get me an autographed picture of Courtney Walsh, I'll see what I can do about carving off the Caribbean rights. Well, I called Courtney right away. Courtney took him out to lunch, him and his son out to lunch, had a training session with the kid, and that was the genesis of Sportsmax. He carved off the Caribbean Barclays Premiership rights for me. We bought it at a steal, virtually nothing, and we said, okay, what to do? I took it to the 2 stations that I knew of in Jamaica and a couple of stations in Trinidad. Nobody was interested in showing the Barclays Premier League. So I said, well, what do I do with these rights? Let me start a sports channel. And so right on a plane, I did a little PowerPoint presentation with the logo and everything, came up with the name Sportsmax, and launched Sportsmax in 2001. Cable and Wireless had fallen on pretty hard times. They were being decimated by the competition, and I think that's what attracted me the most. To get into an industry that I was already familiar with through the sports rights, and turn around a company. One of the first things we were able to do is to turn around the market in terms of its own mobile market share, which had been down in the doldrums, and turn around the brand. So that was an exciting opportunity. For us to have such a significant portion of the population not being exposed to all of this information really holds us back.
Hey guys, I'm Candy and welcome to Chill Spot, Jamaica's ultimate leisure show. This season promises to reveal some of the hidden treasures of the lifestyle industry by taking you to the chill spots of some of Jamaica's most brilliant business minds, giving you a glimpse into how they choose to unwind and just hold a vibe. You won't want to miss what happens next. Stay tuned.
Ready TV is the first product of what we're anticipating to be a range of telecommunications related products. It is a pay TV platform, it is a pay TV service that we're going to roll out in Jamaica, where we should be rolled out by the first quarter 2017. We want to be the affordable choice for Jamaicans. We have a 12-year license that we were just awarded by the Broadcast Commission. And we're going to be rolling out that service that I think Jamaicans are going to be very, very pleased to receive. Most of Jamaica, or certainly a very significant part of Jamaica, still only gets free-to-air analog television. Our goal is to totally change that. Cable television or pay TV and the programming and information of pay TV is still the most important, ubiquitous way of sharing information and education. So for us to have such a significant portion of the population not being exposed to all of this information really holds us back. It is the starter pack for broadband. So everybody's talking about getting internet into everybody's homes. In reality, let's first get basic, proper television into everybody's home. And I think, people are going to be very surprised and very, very pleased on both counts, both the convenience and the affordability. And basically our tagline of TV when you are ready is going to be very apt in describing Ready TV service. It is not possible to compete if you don't back yourself. Because life is a competition. Anything that you're going to do, you're going to be competing against somebody. And if you don't back yourself, you have no chance, either against the strongest competitor or the weakest competitor. You have to back yourself. You have to believe in your ability to overcome whatever challenges are going to face you. You know, I see so many people coming out of UA, and a lot of them are women. The vast majority of them are women. But for some reason, society has almost trained them not to back themselves. They're the ones that need to be taking the entrepreneurial risks. They have the foundation. And they have far more ability to compete. They just don't realize it. You know, more and more women are realizing that. But generally, whether male or female, you have no confidence in your ability, you'll never succeed. And confidence does not mean arrogance. It means just believing that, hey, if I don't know what I need to know, I can find out what I need to know and learn it. A lot of people think I'm a snob, which is strange. Yeah. It's strange to me, but I understand it. I'll tell you something. I'm terrified of flying, for instance. As much as I've flown, I know. And my friends know this, my close friends know this, because they know the night before I have to fly, I find difficulty sleeping. And there's just something in my brain that just won't comprehend how they're keeping this huge monstrosity of a machine up in the air for 14 hours, like when I have to make a trip to India or somewhere. So I'm afraid of flying. So when I walk into a plane, one of the things that gets me nervous is when I actually look back in the plane and see this long cabin full of people. So I will totally just ignore everybody, you know, and there'll be people back there who know me, who trying to catch my eye to even say hi, and I'm not looking back because I know I'm anxious. And then that's then misinterpreted as, hey, Chris, boy, such a snob kind of thing. But it's really, I just can't look back. And then of course, it's almost impossible to be a snob if you play football. I mean, football is played in the ghettos of Jamaica. That's who you grow up with as your friends, that people who you love. I garden every day, in the morning before I go to work, at night when I get home, and gardening ranges everything from plants, breaking off a piece of a plant and plant it and trying to get it to catch. So yes, I'm a kleptomaniac when it comes to plants. I go to people's houses and break off pieces and steal plants. To watering, just watering the garden just relaxes me quite a bit. Of course, I have a fantastic family. I have a beautiful wife and a fantastic 4-year-old daughter who keeps me very energized. I have a 22-year-old son who gives me nothing but trouble, so that always keeps you on edge as well. It occupies your time, and so I enjoy spending a lot of time with them, and so I enjoy that quite a bit. My wife is Brazilian, so again, these things, trajectories and events that take you into the unbeaten world. The funny thing is, football is still my favorite sport. As much as time I've spent in cricket, I'm fanatic over football. So I've been to every football World Cup since 1990, and I always pretended to be Brazilian, except in '98, of course, when Jamaica went, because I just loved the way the Brazilians played and celebrated the game. Going to a Brazil football World Cup game, that party starts 6 o'clock in the morning and ends 6 o'clock the next morning. It's a fantastic, just to be part of the Brazilian continent. So I would put on my Brazilian shirt and go to all these matches pretending to be Brazilian. So when I met this really beautiful Brazilian girl who happened to be working for Cable and Wireless in Miami, I guess fate kind of ended up bringing us together. Wealth is being able to enjoy your life, and so it doesn't mean that you have a lot of money. It means that you satisfy with the money you have and enjoy it to ensure that you have a quality of life that for you and your family that you want to enjoy. And I certainly feel wealthy because I have incredible friends that I have a great time with. I have an incredible family that I have a good time with, and we're able to put food on the table and put people through college, and so I feel wealthy because of that.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
The National Baking Company gave birth to the National Baking Company Foundation, NBCF, which is a brainchild of businessman and philanthropist Gary Butch Hendrickson, signaling a new dawn, a new day. Change has come for our nation's children, our future generation. The foundation was launched in 2015 to further strengthen the company's philanthropic efforts. It supports numerous organizations including Lost Street Trade Training Center, Mustard Seed Communities, Food for the Poor, St. Patrick's Foundation, and the Union Gardens Basic School. Now, the foundation has launched its Little Leaders program in early childhood schools island-wide.
I'm very pleased to join you in launching the Little Leaders program, and I applaud and endorse this initiative. Education has always been, for me, a partnership exercise. No matter how much money we spend from the national budget, we still need to spend more. It is the most valuable and rewarding investment that any country or any company, for that matter, can make.
This is another year of a dream coming true for us. This is part of something that I think we get involved with emotionally in the company. I personally think it's the best thing that I have ever done, having this initiative. I do believe, and I continue to believe, that unless we can educate our children, we're just dooming them to a future of a percentage of what they could become. And that's the basis on which I do this.
Butch has long been a very serious advocate for early childhood education. And it emerged from a Crayons Count initiative that he was involved in for about 4 years. And it morphed into the Future Leaders arrangement. And it's all about early childhood education, supporting the teachers, getting supplies out into every corner of Jamaica, using the national infrastructure, National Bakery, with their vehicles and transport. And it's really all about getting the sort of 3 to 6 minds at that early stage and giving them the teaching and learning aids.
The Little Leaders program will ensure that all institutions registered with the Early Childhood Commission, ECC, will receive learning kits.
It's an early childhood initiative where we have been distributing kits to approximately 2,500 schools across the island, right throughout the island. This is the first year for Little Leaders, but it's the 4th year for National being on board with this kind of initiative. We are packing approximately 3,500 boxes. Some schools will receive A and B boxes depending on their size, and some schools will receive A boxes. The schools will come to various centers in the corporate area and collect their boxes. So our team of volunteers will go out again and ensure that each school receives their kits, they sign for their kits, and then they collect their kits. And basically they're on their way after that. We traverse as far as Portland to Hanover, delivering boxes right through the island. This is one of the biggest initiatives for the foundation. We took it on, but it was still under the Crayons Count brand. National has taken it on themselves to rebrand it and call it Little Leaders. The Crayons Count brand is going global. They want to go worldwide. National is keeping it local and trying to cover our needs in Jamaica before we try and help otherwise.
This means a lot to the Commission. The Commission is a regulatory body, so we do ensure that the standards, because there are 12 standards, and what's happening today actually impact one of the standards. The tools, the resources that you find at the early childhood institution. This creates equality among all our children. So whether you're in Morant Bay or you're at the Newgrill Point, as we often speak about, whether middle class, upper class, poor, everyone, it equalizes. Every child has the ability to have a Play-Doh. Every child has the same equipment being in that institution. So whether it's a prep school or it's a public school, you're having the same tool that enhances and it does a lot for early stimulation. Because our children, kids learn differently. You need standardized toys. This is what National has done. We thank them. We wish they continue. We hope and we encourage more corporates to come on board because we have to get it right there. Our little ones, we have to stimulate them from early. And once you have a good, very strong foundation, you see the benefits. It translates to primary, then to secondary. And like I said, the best investment is at that age. And if we get it right, we have a better society. So we're very happy for this. We thank them. We actually want more because, again, I like to say, a government will never be able to provide all the resources. So we welcome corporate sponsorship, and that's why we're very happy for what National is doing today. And also to their staff, the involvement of their staff, that is quite commendable. What we're experiencing today, the staff members are out and they are doing the work. It speaks volume. It speaks to their commitment to a better Jamaica. And again, as Chairman of the Early Childhood Commission, we thank everyone, we appreciate, and we always say this, we always want more. We're happy for our children, for a better Jamaica.
As the portfolio minister, let me tell you, this is music to my ears. For you to have a corporate entity giving back so much to Jamaica, this is the foundation of the education system to start our children right. And you know, I say so often that we have so many vulnerable children, so many vulnerable homes, a lot of poor parents who can't afford the necessary educational material to ensure that their children are well stimulated in their education journey correct. This is a fantastic amount of commitment and monetary investment in Jamaica's education system and the future of our children. And we are extremely happy, we are very proud, we are very grateful, and our commitment is to ensure that we work with this company and the other stakeholders and of course the many ECIs, the over 2,500 ECIs that have been targeted across Jamaica, to make sure that our children benefit from this investment and that Jamaica's education system will be second to none in the world.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
We're just trying to get them off on the right step, while they are the future.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
Dodge & Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodge & Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodge & Global. Requirements: first degree in accounting, employed at Dodge & Global, willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodgen Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.
I'm Adam Stewart. This is Business Access TV, serious about business.
These Little Leader learning kits are packed at the National Bakery Warehouse, where volunteers with an aim to serve come together for the mission that will change the lives of our nation's children.
It's volunteer time. We have production workers from bun, biscuit, bread, giving up their time. When they come off the line, they come over and they help pack, or on the day off, they come and they help pack. So we just have a big cooperation from everybody. Everybody's on board. The garage, their team helps us load trucks and offload at the distribution centers, and some of the route salesmen also carry out some boxes in their truck.
The coordination in itself is pretty organized. We pull from the different plants, and every department is basically aware of what we're doing. So when the time approaches for the packing to be carried out, everybody come together, we arrange a room, all the items have been ordered. We have a target which we have to meet. We have a certain amount of boxes that we have to make, and they're separated into A's and B's. We have team leaders who are aware of what we're going to be doing, and so they align themselves and they carry it out pretty much. Usually the workers are very excited, so it's not an easy to get them to come over. The containers, when they arrive on the premises, when the time approaches for us to start packing, they're offloaded in our packing room. Based on the target that we have a conveyor, we align different stations, and everything is in order. So you just follow the conveyors as the boxes go down. You know what it is that you need in each carton and for each kit. And you just follow the process as it goes along. Everybody pretty much pitches in and get everything done together. It's a learning kit, and there are various different items that are in it. Pretty much it's a well-rounded kit that is targeted to development of these children, and I'm sure they'll really appreciate it. Different schools get different amount of boxes, whether A or B boxes, and the learning tools that are in the kits, they stimulate their development.
Packing the Little Leaders project, what we do on an annually, yearly basis now for the kids, early learners kids, like crayons, Play-Doh, paint, ball, glue sticks, you name it, it's here. We're just trying to get them off on the right step, but they are the future kids coming up. It's just a pleasure for me being here to help out. Once it's for the kids, it's always a pleasure for me. And it's coming from our boss. He's inspired and he's doing this for the kids, and it's coming from him. We just all have to chip in. And so it's been a pleasure.
Today I'm here as a volunteer in packaging items to send out into the school as a part of our Little Leader program that we have going on. This is my first time as a volunteer. I've always known about this project that the company has always been doing, and I'm very proud to be a part of it. I've always been a person who purchases the national products, and I've always seen the branding on the products that they sell. For example, the bread, they always have a sticker across it. So I've always been interested and wanted to know what it was about, and then I read up about it. So to be here working and being a part of this, I'm very proud. I think it's a great thing that a company is doing for our community and the schools in our country. A lot of children have the potential, but they don't have the backing behind us. So for a company to be offering something like this, I think it's a great initiative on behalf of the less fortunate.
I'm here since Grand Count, and now it's Little Leaders. It's fun being here, packing the box and all of that. Trust me, the box alone, from them seat, the fun is there. Not to mention when them open the box, because there's a lot of stuff as you can see on the table.
After the packaging is done, they are loaded onto the trucks. The trucks are then fueled with enough diesel for the long journey to distribute the Little Learners learning kits to over 2,500 institutions that are registered with the Early Childhood Commission, ECC. Upon arrival at their destination, the Little Leaders team prepared themselves for the day's events. A queue is then formed where persons verify the name of their institution, after which they are given a card that is indicative of how many packages they will receive.
I really appreciate what National has done, 101% and more, because of the creativity of the toys, the puppetry, the curriculum guide. It works with the material they have given us, and it really enhances the children learning, because some of the things that we never thought of, it was given to us so easy that we could use the material to prepare our lesson for the day. So I just want to say, big up to National. Thank you very, very much, National. We really appreciate everything that you have done, and continue to go out and give back to the school, and one love, and God bless all the National family.
They're very effective because they help to enhance the children's learning, and I like the quality of the products because they are very children friendly, and the children work well with them. I just want to say a big thanks to National for considering the early childhood education. I just want to say to them, continue to keep up the good work because they are doing great to the children of our society. May God continue to bless them.
My school is Marley Primary and Infant School. I'm here this morning picking up the boxes from the National. I have 6 boxes here. The reason is because we have over 285 students at school, and so we have enough resources for them, to use. And yearly we come and we collect these boxes. The students use them immensely. They enjoy them, especially the Play-Doh, the crayons. They make stuff. We use puppets to teach our lessons in whatever. Especially we have puppets like the doctor, the nurse, the firefighter, and so on. And the teachers use those puppets to help to enhance their lessons and so on. Thank you, National Company, for what you're doing, and we hope that you continue to do this venture. It is really helping us out because when teachers have to find these things out of their pockets, to help out with their classroom, and to see that what they are doing for us, free of cost, we're entirely grateful for the help that we're getting. And I'm going to encourage the parents out there and the wider Jamaica to continue to support National Company in buying their products so that they can continue to support our schools.
I'm from the Blue Old Basic School in St. Catherine, up in the hills, cool hills of St. Catherine. And I'm here to collect my box from National. And I want to say thanks to them. The children are very excited about the playthings in the box. And this time, I believe they will be more excited for what they are getting.
I'm from Police Spring Basic School, which is situated at 44 Marley Gardens. And I'm thankful to National for giving us this wonderful gift to these children. They are so excited about these gifts. This is my second time collecting from National, and I do thank you.
Coming up on Caring Hands.
Your business matters. Business Access TV offers you the most innovative and effective advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
In this 1 degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker.
Game technician.
Animator.
With empowerment.
Career moves. Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
The Good Life, your weekly dose of information on nutrition, wellness, and fitness. Discover ways to nurture your mind, body, and spirit.
I started out selling out of the trunk of my car.
If everybody think the same way, everybody going in the same line.
Being an entrepreneur takes everything that you've got.
Weekends? What's weekends? We work on a weekend. There are real opportunities everywhere you look.
But you have to have the passion.
If I do my part well, then everything is okay.
We believed in ourselves and our families believed in us.
Being convinced of this great opportunity, why we are all here doing what we're doing now.
The parish of Clarendon was another of several delivery stops for the Little Leaders. Welcome to Kellits.
We have been getting stuff from Crayons Count, and now it's Little Leaders that we're getting from. And we appreciate this stuff very much because it helps the children at the school, you know, to develop their finer muscles and all that. And we're very grateful, you know, because it helps and cut back on parents have to provide some of these things. We're used to National because we buy National products, you know, and the trucks are in our area every day, you know, we support them. And we're grateful to National being a part of this program.
We appreciate everything that you do through the years for the children them, because we can't afford it and they make use of it. Your learning centers them and so forth. So each year they are looking forward towards it with the puppets and the blocks and everything, play-doh and everything. Thanks to National for what they are doing and continue to do the work through the years to come.
Next up was Chapeltown, a market town in the parish. Representatives of various early childhood institutions in Kellits anxiously awaited the arrival of the Little Leaders truck and were grateful for the initiative.
And we appreciate you very much and for the work that you are doing all across the island for our basic schools. And each year you come, you give us more and more, and we appreciate it, because if it was left to us, we could not buy them to cater for the children. So we appreciate it a whole lot. And continue with your work. May God bless you richly.
And the children like it too. They all they are in them. You have to, shift them around and, them enjoy them. They're very grateful for them as well, parents as well. So I want to say thank you again over the years for what you're all doing for the early childhood.
The national company and the Little Leaders group, I just want to say thank you and continue to do the work that you are doing, because you're not only helping the children now, but in future they'll be better citizens. And I thank you.
The Augusttown SDA Basic School is one out of the 2,500 schools that have benefited from the Little Leaders Initiative.
Augusttown has collected from Crayon Count, now Little Leaders. I'm expecting my teachers and students to be excited. I mean, students are excited by anything with colors. They're not going to be seeing it today. Teachers are going to, go into the box first, and we decide the age group for each thing, and then we put them on the different learning centers. I'd like to say to National and to Little Leaders, thank you so much. It will go a far way. Our students will appreciate it, teachers will appreciate it. Continue doing the good work.
I think Little Leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
The National Baking Company Foundation has touched the hearts of many, making the impossible possible, and in the words of the National Baking Company Foundation CEO, Gary Butch Hendrickson, who made all this possible along with his hardworking staff,
advertising solution for your business, specializing in B2B sales, cost-effective solutions, the customers you want, the repetition you need. No matter the size and nature of your company, your business matters.
Call us at 876-291-6233 or 876-376-4225. Email sales@batvja.com.
In this one degree, you're able to do many things.
I think the field found me.
I'd rather work with the deceased than work with the living.
Let us open your mind to careers you've never considered.
Miniature model maker.
Game technician.
Animator.
Good job. Empowerment.
Career moves. Anywhere money is, that's where I am.
Dodge & Global offers a CPA scholarship program to team members who join our team. A career in accountancy at Dodge & Global is a great choice and can offer you excellent job prospects. We believe that an accounting education is the greatest gift you can give yourself or anyone else. Few gifts make as significant an impact as the gift of an accountancy education with a job. It's a contribution that lasts a lifetime in the form of learning, opportunity, and success. Join our team and get the opportunity to be part of our CPA scholarship program. This scholarships awards program will be administered by the HR department of Dodge & Global. Requirement: first degree in accounting. Employed at Dodge & Global. Willing to pursue the CPA examination. Here's how to apply. Submit application to Staff Accountant, Dodge & Global. Email sa@dodgen.com.